What's going on, guys? OddManMC back at you with another episode of Today in Minecraft, and today we're going to talk about texture. I don't know what this guy's doing. Yeah, you better run. So in my last build video, we talked a little bit about pallets in building. Now, like I said, I'm not an expert builder. I just want to use the skills and the ideas that I've found and advice that I want to give you guys that help me and see maybe if it will help you in the end. So if you want to check out that video on pallets, it's up in the card in the top right corner. You can go ahead and click it now and come back to this one. Now, texture, just like pallets, help these guys are in love. So texture, just like pallets, serves its place in building and helps make your builds a little more interesting. For example, here is the palette that I used for this build, and if you want to see the time-lapse video where I built this, you can go ahead and check out the card in the top right corner right now. But I figured we could actually take this palette and add some more to it just to make it a little different. Now, as you can see, I added a few more to this palette just to help add some texture to the build. So instead of just using the white concrete, we're also going to use the smooth quartz block and the snow block. Now, you don't have to use these. You can try them out and use what you like and take away what you don't like, but sometimes this helps a lot. So for example, with the stone brick area, we have stone brick, we have the cracked stone brick, we also have some regular stone and some cobblestone. And then with these stairs that we have for the roof, we're going to use some cobblestone stairs to add some texture to it as well. Now for the shed portion of this build, over where the stone bricks are, we're going to slowly pepper in some textured blocks. So this cobblestone will be a nice addition, as well as some cracked stone bricks. And actually, I forgot to grab those. Just ignore that part. Here they are. So as we add these in, you can tell it goes from being a very kind of what I would say flat surface to just having a little bit more detail. And you don't have to go crazy with it. I don't want this to look kind of decrepit and falling apart, just kind of worn, like it's been here for a while, because this has been here for a few months. So it might have transformed over the last few months just as it slowly starts taking shape. And now, of course, in Minecraft, builds don't actually do that. We don't, at the time of this recording, we don't have the copper blocks that change over time, but you can see that it just adds a little bit more to it, and it's not just one texture to the build, and just adding a few more makes a world of a difference. And you can even add stairs to kind of add a little bit more depth to it with the texture, and I think overall that's looking pretty good. Now let's go through and add some different blocks to the white concrete. Now I just chose the quartz block just because it's a little bit brighter than the concrete, and it just kind of adds a little bit of a different tone. It might be kind of hard to tell with my textures on my shaders, but you can, at least right here, I can see this is darker than this, even though they are white, but they both add just a little bit more. And then if we add the snow block, of course, that also is just a little bit different. Now you could use polished diorite, you could use kind of any white block, you could probably even throw in some iron if you like the look of it, but it just adds a little bit more to the build. It doesn't make it nice and flat, it just makes it look a little different, like it has just some more, what I would say, texture to it. That's what the whole point of this video is about. Now let's take these cobblestone stairs and we're just going to, again, pepper them throughout just to add a little bit of variety to the build. It doesn't have to look like it goes in a specific pattern, but it breaks up the monotony of the stone bricks and just kind of adds just a little bit more characteristics to it. I think it looks really good as we're going through. I like to place blocks at random. Sometimes I'll just click away at random times and see like what it will look like, because then it looks a little bit more natural, like things were planned out that way by nature and not just by myself. And I think it adds just more characteristics to the build. But again, it's all up to you and what you want to do with using texture in your builds. And before we go on to the next part of the video, I just wanted to say, if you have not yet subscribed, please consider hitting that subscribe button, because it does help out the channel a lot. And I have noticed that about 98% of you guys watching my videos aren't subscribed. So really, if you like what you're watching and you keep coming back for more, please consider hitting that subscribe button, even hitting the like button if you like the video, because it really does help out the channel and it does mean a lot. So thank you. And for my second example, I popped on over to the French style house that we built. couple weeks ago, at least at the time of this recording, and I wanted to show you just the texture that I've used here. Now, the bulk of this build was made out of cut sandstone, but you can see that I used regular sandstone as well as chiseled sandstone and birch planks. I could even use stripped birch if I want, but I think I used that for, I used that for the framework. So you can see that instead of just being cut sandstone and being pretty flat, it's got a lot of intricate details kind of throughout the whole piece, and it just makes it look different. And I think it just gives it a little bit more, maybe flavor is a different word instead of just using texture all the time. But I definitely recommend, if you want your builds to stick out and look a little different, especially if they are more, I would say, rustic, then definitely add some texture. If it's not, you're going with modern, and modern's very sleek. You don't really need any texture with these, but you can add different details to add depth, such as that. So texture can be used in a different way with modern builds, but with more rustic builds, definitely go with different blocks of similar tones that kind of go with this. Now, I'm colorblind, so it's kind of hard to tell at times, but I have a general idea of what goes well together, so I can definitely tell that these make it pop a little bit more and just make it stand out. Alright guys, that is all the time I have for you today. If you liked the video, please hit that like button. It does help the channel out a lot, and hit that subscribe button, especially if you want to see more. I did notice that about 98% of you guys watching my videos aren't subscribed, so please do consider subscribing. It does help out a lot, and it gives me a warm fuzzy feeling knowing that you guys are watching and continuing to come back for more. My tongue kind of slipped around a little bit. So I'm hoping you learned something new about textures and even palettes from the last video. I'm going to be doing some more videos like this just to kind of give you guys advice that I've learned over my time building. But again, I'm not an expert at this, so I'm hoping you learned something. But I'm going to get on out of here, guys. Always remember, the most important thing is to be odd, and wash your hands. Peace, guys.